Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Q&A show on Inside the Birds platform. You know what it is. I'm Jason Avant. I'm here with my main man, Quintin Mikell. Q, say what's up to the people.
What's going on, everybody? Back again. See these wonderful smiles. Must have been a good weekend.
Yeah, I see you got the Eagles gear. You got the old logo. You got the new logo. You got it all going.
Got to mix and match, man. This hat's so dirty. I've had this. This is my lucky hat, man. You see, I got smudges all over it.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's my lucky hat, man. Got to keep it going.
Keep it going. We want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you email your questions to insidethebirds@gmail.com. Thank you to Adam and to Jeff and to Josh and everyone at Inside the Birds. And thank you for your loyal support. And make sure you email your questions to us so we can get them read on the show. Q, we're going to get into this. This was a game that most people were leery of. We had to travel that 5.5-hour flight to the West Coast, play the Rams on a Sunday night against a team that had won 4 in a row. The Eagles have been lauded and praised all week about their performance of late. So you're always leery of, being content and thinking you arrive. The Birds go out there and lay a 37-20 smackdown on the Rams. What's your overall thoughts of the game?
Man, that was just a beautiful game, both sides of the ball. We'll get into some things that probably could be better, but overall, man, this team is playing hot right now. They're playing together. They're playing physical football. They can attack, especially on offense and defense. They can attack you multiple ways now. I mean, it's really, really starting to come together really nicely. So, hopefully, I know we lost BG, and we'll talk about that too. But hopefully, the injury bug. This is the time of year where the injury bug starts to kind of creep up. So hopefully that stays off of us. But yeah, man, it was a beautiful thing to see, and this team's hot, man.
Yeah, this team is hot. 7 in a row, 9-2. This is 3 times for Nick Sirianni where he's gone 9-2. 3 times. That is insane. That's insane. It just doesn't happen like that. So this guy, whether he's quirky or not, where he's corny or not, whatever you want to call it, the players play for him. We can say all that we want about his press conferences. We can say all that we want about his, off-putting style at times. But the players are ready to play, and he's figured out a way to win a game. Win games. He's 43-19 as a coach, far better than anybody in his coaching class. The next best person is Dan Campbell. Remember, he lost for 2.5, 3 years before they got good.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
So he's killing it. He has a 70% winning percentage, which is unheard of for an NFL coach right now. So the Eagles are doing really good. They now have a 2.5 game lead over the Commanders, so they're kind of in charge in the division. They're number 1 seed. They're pushing the Lions for the number 1 seed. All right, so Saquon Barkley, 255 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, another 47 yards of receiving, 302 yards total offense for one player. What the hell do you make of Saquon Barkley?
Yo, he is unreal, man. He is unreal. That first play, the second half, the split zone was well blocked, but the Rams had numbers, right? They had people in the area, and he found a lane, jump cut, and took it the distance. This is something you see in like high school football, like a running back breaking, 70-yard runs, multiple, 70-yard runs, 50-yard runs. I mean, that's high school type stuff, right? This is the NFL.
Yeah.
These guys are getting paid. The defensive players are getting paid to bring him down, and he's running out there like that, man. It's phenomenal, man. I've never seen anything like it.
Q. This man. So first of all, it's blocked up. He's leading the league in yards before contact. he has over 750 yards before contact.
That's crazy.
That's insane. So the offensive line is doing an amazing job. Talking about that first run of the second half, talk about blocking. Grant Calcaterra with a block. AJ goes and digs his man out. Britton Covey comes in and lays out the safety and jump cut Saquon right off Britton Covey's block. Like, everybody did their job on that play. And that's what happens when you have a home run hitter. You make other people better. You remember what it was like playing against Devin Hester in Chicago. We played Chicago for a lot of years, and those guys didn't normally block like that. But when Devin Hester was back there, everyone was motivated. They were incentivized to block. And then they became assholes out there. And they were really good at it because they knew the person back there was special. And that's what I'm starting to see from the Eagles team as a whole. The receivers are starting to get on board with blocking, running guys off, doing their job because they know that Saquon can take it to the house, which is a special thing. And everybody's doing pitching in. And if everybody's pitching in with that dude, 255, I was like, the Giants are rolling over right now. Mara is rolling over right now. I yelled out my voice on the radio last night and then also during the game. I'm like, this is just unbelievable. So the play calling was great. We're going to get into it. You want to follow up with that at all, or you want me to go to the next thing?
Yeah, no, that was good, man. Yeah, we good.
Brandon Graham, huge loss for us. Brandon is a stand-up guy. Played with him, know what he's about. Always a light in the room. Solid teammate, always brings the energy. Every team has an energy guy. The energy guy on our team when you and I played was Brian Dawkins. For this team, it's always been Brandon Graham. He's always been the energy guy. So it's going to be, I won't say tough, but it's going to be a different vibe for the team. Someone else is going to have to step up and fill those shoes. Sad moment. I actually cried yesterday when I saw it because I just know what type of person he is, and I texted him earlier in the day and text me back. But that's a tough one for that type of player. What do you think about that? And also, do we have anybody that can do what he does?
Yeah, man. Like, in terms of on the field stuff, I think we can manage. This team can manage. I think Fangio's done a fantastic job being able to put players in the correct positions that suit them, and I think he'll find a way to fix that part. Now, in terms of the off the field stuff, it's gonna be tough, right? Like you said, he's a motivational guy. You know, the thing I love about him, though, he's a motivational guy. He's a leader, but he's always positive, man. He's always smiling. Like, no matter if something goes wrong, like he's a positive. He has a positive energy, and that's huge, especially going down the stretch here. So it's going to be huge loss. I think the bigger issue will be the off the field stuff, the leadership that's going to be missed, because this is a young defense, and there's going to be some tough tests coming up, and you got to have someone that'll keep everyone together and keep everyone focused on the goal at hand. So hopefully someone steps up outside of that. But yeah, I mean, on the field, man, I think they'll be able to manage. But BG, man, that's a tough one. I hate to see him go out like that. And, he's one of my favorite teammates, one of my favorite players. And yeah, it's tough, man.
Yeah, definitely tough. Unlike, I don't know if I have much belief in, Bryce Huff is, first of all, we're down Bryce Huff because of injury, right? And now we down Brandon. So we're down 2 at that position. And we're totally dependent upon Nolan Smith. We're totally dependent upon Jalen Hunt. We're totally dependent on Sweat. They don't have much depth at that position. So I'm sure someone's going to be signed, but there's no one really left to sign. The free agency period is past. So we're talking about dudes that's either on a practice squad and or are on a couch somewhere. And that usually never turns out well. We've had some success, but we've had, bad ones too. So I'm trying to figure out how that's going to play out. But Brandon is our best two-way defensive end. When it comes to pass rush and the run, he does it better than everybody that we have. So I'm worried about that. Do I think it will be big enough to stop this team's goals? No, but I think that it can definitely hurt. And against the Lions, against, the Vikings, against, that type of team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I do think that can help. I do think that Milton Williams, because I believe he used to play a little bit outside too, so he could help.
So
In
you
run
think
down situations, being that 5 technique 9 type technique outside kind of run forcer that BG had. But when it comes to the pass rushing side of it, yeah, I agree. Huff's got to step up, but I didn't even realize he was hurt. What
it just had you talking about Brennan? Like,
I'm
so.
talking about Huff.
Oh
I,
yeah, no. Huff has been hurt. He's been put on IR. So he's down 4 games. So that happened a week ago. He wasn't
I
playing that
see.
much.
Yeah.
It was like a wrist or something, I think.
That's right. Yeah, we did. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
So that's that. So let's get into this. All right. This first question is for you. Was this a D-line win? What do you see from the pass rush to be so effective?
Yeah, this was 100%, a D-line win. They reset the front on the Rams offensive line, damn near every play.
Yeah.
Harassed Stafford every drop back. He seemed like he had people flying around him. Just across the board, it was just a total destruction of this Rams offensive line. And it was multiple ways. I mean, it wasn't a whole lot of pressure. There was stunts, there was movement, it was just straight speed rushes, it was just bull rushes. I mean, it was every which way. And so this was 100% a D-line win. Now the secondary, they covered pretty well. Puka got off a little bit. He's a good player. But for the most part, man, this was a straight up D-line dominance.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I thought it was dominant because I thought Chris Collinsworth did a good job of explaining to the group or to the people last night how often with the next gen stats in the third quarter when he did it, like Jalen Carter was being double teamed over 80% of the time. Like, that's pretty much, we're taking him out of the game. And so you saw Milton Williams get his 2 sacks off of Jalen. And still, even Jalen was still forcing plays. You had 2 people allocated to him. He's still forcing plays, but it gave everybody one-on-ones, and people were winning their one-on-one matchup. Did you see Nakobe Dean destroy the running back Kyron Williams for that sack? That had to be the worst rep. He is getting his butt cursed out in the meetings right now. Williams may never be in pass protection again. He may have just given his job to Blake Corn. First of all, he fumbles too much. Yeah. Fumbles entirely too much to Williams for the Rams, right? And then to get run over like that, he looked like a elf on the shelf. Man, it was terrible. But great job by the Kobe Dean. Great job by the Kobe. You laugh, man. It's the truth.
I'm surprised he didn't cut him, man. Most of the time, running backs will come up and cut you.
He should have. He was down there already. He should have. That boy took all of that. I was like, boy.
That film session ain't gonna be fun for him.
No, not for him. He messed around and gave his job to Blake Corn. He tripping. He was tripping. But it was a good job by Jalen. Good job by Milton Williams. Sweaty with a sack before. Had BG, multiple tackles for loss, a sack. Like, they destroyed. They dominated the game. And even when it wasn't a quarterback, sack, it was just a lot of pressure. Stafford never felt comfortable. Yeah. And that's a game where it had to be like that because Sean McVay has such creative play calling, and those guys are going to get open just because of the play calling, and how they go about their business. So it definitely was a D-line dominant game.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, we'll go to the next question.
Okay.
All right. So Jay, the Eagles gave up. Let's talk about the secondary. The Eagles gave up 110 yards to Puka Nacua, but they held the Rams to 0-8 on third down. What do you think stood out in the secondary?
I thought they challenged. I remember we've been talking about this a bunch. Like the secondary challenged the guys, and that's what we like to see. You remember earlier in the season, we constantly talked about guys giving up just free yards. Even Quintin early in the season against Atlanta and other teams, like they were giving up, he was learning, giving up free yards, Slay, giving up free yards, just letting guys run down the field. Now they're willing and able to challenge these guys. So even when a guy catches the ball, it's tough. Stafford had to thread the needle all night for them to get completions. Very rarely did they have like wide open completions. It just didn't happen. And if they did have a wide open completion, it was like a 3 or 4 yard play where a dude ran after the catch. Now I'll tell you this, is that part of the reason it's tough to guard Puka is that the dude plays 100% the entire game.
Yeah.
Like he runs full, it's no moves. He like route technique, he's fast. He's going to run his 4.4 the entire day, and he's not going to give you much wiggle. He's going to run the lines, but he's fast enough to do that. It's not going to be dynamic, but he's going to go as hard as he can, and he's not going to drop it. And he's a tank when he catches it. Darius Slay, I felt bad for the dude trying to tackle that dude. He looked like a tight end out there. He like a fast tight end that nobody wanted to tackle. When he got the ball, it was like, it looked like, it looked like oil and water out there. They were like moving in opposite directions. I was like, this dude is going to hurt somebody. So I was impressed with that because I've never been a fan of his route technique.
Yeah.
But seeing it up close and personal and evaluating and looking over the game, I'm like, oh, I see why he's successful. He has a super accurate quarterback, and he is a no-nonsense, go 100% of the time. The quarterback is going to throw him the ball, and he's going to make a contested catch. He's going to have a half a step on you every single time. He's not going to have 2 steps on you ever, but he's going to have a half a step on you every time, and the Stafford is going to be good. So, but I thought Quintin did a good job of challenging him. I thought that Slay was in position, but again, that dude is just big. He's strong, and Stafford's accurate. But I thought they did a good job. He's going to get his because of the style that he plays. Dudes like that are annoying. Right? Yeah. It's not like that they're good, but you got to respect it because they just go so hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's like this dude don't never take a break.
They take a break, bro. Even when he's blocking, like I've never seen a receiver get inserted so much. Like they're motioning him down, and he's like leading up like a fullback on Nakobe Dean and Bond in the A gap. So
working too. Yeah. Working. Like he working. I'm like, this dude here is about the business. You can tell, like, he take the weight room serious. He take everything serious. He's one of those dudes that had to work for it his entire life. So his production at the end of his career is probably going to be up there with the greats just because of that. He didn't have the greats talent, but his mindset is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly how he used to be, man.
Man, it's crazy. You can't quantify it.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, see me, I had some wiggle, but I wasn't fast. If I was as fast as he is and with the wiggle, ooh, cute. I dream about that all the time. I'm like, dude, if I were in the 4.4, man, I'd be in the Hall of Fame.
Shoot.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Let's get to it. But I thought Quintin did a good job. Isaiah Rodgers gave up some plays, but he was still in position for most of them. That Demarcus Robinson inside move from cut split, that's a tough one. Because if you don't hard press that and like with the intention of putting your hands on him right away, there's no way you can deal with that move because when your back foot, when you're a receiver, like you're a receiver and your back foot goes in this direction here before you go and you give him one big one like that, the dude go for that every time. So that's why you can't allow him to load up on the back foot to do that move, So, but the guys were in great position. I respect that. And I think our guys are good. Did you see DeJean locking up Cooper though? A few times he put the he put the hands on him on that 4th down. He put the hands on him. I was like, oh, I didn't know you had it in man like that. I knew you had it in zone. I didn't know you had it in man like that.
That was a steal, man. I'm telling you, them two.
Man.
Quintin and Cooper were straight steals.
Yeah. Shoot, I love that.
Absolutely.
All right, Q. You typically don't like Fangio's style of defense because they don't blitz much, but do you have an appreciation for the Eagles defense and how it works together, or do you still fear the lack of aggression in the playoffs?
Well, so I got to correct. So I do. So especially in the past, I've said, and it was kind of like a mixture between what we talked about before. If you have your secondary playing off at 10 yards or 8 yards, and you're not blitzing, everybody's just dropping in the zones. That's what I don't like. I didn't like that part of his defense. And to be honest with you, the defensive coordinator last year, I forget his name.
Sean Desai.
It was a similar style to earlier in this year.
And
what I like it now is like we're talking about, we're getting hands-on receivers. We are pressuring a little bit more, sending the Kobe, sending Bond. But the thing to me that I like is the stunts, the movement from the D-line. You got these athletic first-round draft picks, ballers. Just move them around, get them moving, stunts and stuff like that. So that's what I guess that's more what I mean. It's more movement and less being stagnant in the back end. So I'm loving
his
that
sacks
stuff.
off movement. Milton Williams got his sacks off movement, so go ahead.
No, that's what I'm saying. So it wasn't so much I didn't like his style early in the season because maybe he was still trying to install everything. But where he's at now is phenomenal. Good coverage, close coverage, stunts, movement, different fronts. That's what I like.
Yeah, and it's different fronts, and it's exotic at the line of scrimmage. Guys are not just sitting back and just being statues and, that's a cover 4 defense because I saw that on a piece of paper and it looks just like that. It's not like that anymore. It's one of those situations where guys are moving toward the line of scrimmage. They're disguising blitzes. They're faking blitzes. They're confusing the offensive line. That's what you want. So they're doing good, and they're sending pressure still. They're still sending the Kobe Dean and Bond, and yes, they have movement. But I like when the guys are in the line of scrimmage and are moving toward it. And even in the back end, they're like not Cooper, but Blankenship makes cover 4 and cover 3. He holds it until the end. Like when he comes down, like not when CJ's down, but when he's down, when they go to reverse cover 3, where the strong safety's there, it goes to the middle, and when he's coming down, he holds it as long as possible. And at the snap is when he comes down, and he's eyeing up people, So those are little things like that are making a difference. And also having the autonomy for the cornerbacks to be able to press in 3 and 4 in different coverages, not just in man-to-man. That's good stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, let me start this one out, and then I'll start this one out. Can the Eagles get enough from Nolan Smith, Josh Sweat, Jalen Hunt to be effective without BG and without Bryce Huff for a few more weeks? We talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, we talked about it. I think it's gonna take those guys stepping up. I'm still not sold on Nolan Smith. I see the athletic ability. I see the speed. I just don't know technically if he has enough experience using his hands and up and unders and stuff like that. So I'm a little bit less thrilled with Nolan being that guy. Sweat, obviously, you got the knee issue. But Sweat's been in this league for a while. He can definitely carry it a little bit as long as his knees. You give him some breaks. Rep counting. But yeah, overall, man, that's why, we were talking earlier, just the loss of BG is tough because he filled such a big role, in terms of run, pass. He would move down to the 3 technique sometimes. He's so versatile as a player. I think you're gonna miss out on that a lot. So
and you can't move Nolan Smith down there. It's just not something that's in his skill set. And here's the other thing: how would Nolan Smith hold up against the run for an entire game? We're not talking about situations. We're talking about him being a starter and having to have a tight end to his side and a fullback leading up or tackle 1-on-1. Like, how is he going to hold up? Can he set the edge? All those things are going to be like is going to be big for our season, because we remember early in the year we couldn't stop the run because we couldn't set the edge. And then we corrected that. But will we revert back to that? Because there were times last night, even especially earlier in that game, where we were having problems stopping the run the first 2 series. So I don't know. I definitely think that we need help in this area. So I don't know who's practice squad, who's what experience is out there. I'm sure Howie is turning every stone right now and trying to figure out an adequate replacement. But at the least, we need somebody that can hold up in the run.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And there's not many out there.
There's not many out there. We need somebody that can hold. We need somebody that can hold up against the run. So that person has to have weight. He has to be an opposite body type of Nolan Smith, a BG body type, or like a smaller, thicker guy. And Nolan still use his. But I will say this about Nolan. I've been impressed with his ability to hold his line lately. Normally, he's a speed rusher that goes around the edge and he gets pushed too wide and the pocket goes. But now when he's getting pushed, his plant leg back into the tackle is getting a lot stronger. And I've seen him bull rush on the wing. So there's some promise there. I think it's still a work in progress with getting his weight up. But I like some things that I've seen from him. I do.
Yeah.
More to be determined by, Jalen Hunt. Sweaty has to go to a Pro Bowl level in order for us to be effective because he has the most experience. Yeah.
You got to step up, man. Time to step up.
Got to step up, Q. Got to step up.
All right. Okay, let's see. Saquon Barkley. All right, I want you to make a case for and against Saquon being the NFL MVP.
Ooh. All right. So case 4, Saquon Barkley. Leading the league in rushing. Case 4, Saquon Barkley. Yards at I would say big plays, big run plays, plus 40-yard runs, plus 50-yard runs, plus 60-yard runs. Case for him. Look at where his team is in comparison to where he is. Case for him. The Eagles have become a pass-first offense. A run-first offense, and they've historically been a pass-first offense. Case for him. How many touchdowns does he have? I gotta look up his stats here.
10.
He has 10 touchdowns, and that's touchdowns. That's 10 touchdowns with a dude like Jalen Hurts that's stealing his touchdowns with tush pushes. Case for Saquon Barkley. I want to know I wish I had his stats right in front of me here, but yeah, I think those are case against him. Offensive line is good. That's the only thing. That's the only case that you can have against him. But as far as MVP, I don't think that there's been a more impactful player than Saquon this year. His home run ability, his special play ability, his dual threat ability out of the backfield. He can beat you in a multitude of ways. Like we've seen him catch wheel route touchdowns. We've seen him cut back. We've seen him jump over people forward and backwards. We've seen him take it 70. We've seen him stiff arm people. We've seen him lower the shoulder. We've seen him juke people in the hole. Like what can't, like he can do everything.
Yeah.
So
you see him picking up block. You saw him pick up that block on the blitz.
Listen, he's about the business. And so that would be my case for and against. What about you?
Yeah, I can't. There's not much to add to the 4. He's phenomenal. If you want the stats, so 2024, 11 games, he's got 223 rushes, 1,392 yards, 6.2 yard average, 10 touchdowns this season. And like you said, he probably could have had about 5 or 6 more.
Yeah, not 5 or 6 more, 10 more.
Yeah. So yeah, man, like just everything that he offers this team, he's an MVP. Now, case against, The only thing I can think of is, like you said, the O-line, and also who's he up against. And that's always the
Derrick
the
Henry.
whole the quarterback situation. Are
Oh,
we
the
talking
quarterback. Yeah,
the
yeah,
quarterback
quarterback. Yeah,
situation, or are you talking about so
yeah.
you told me last week because I hadn't been following it closely this last week, but um
Derrick Henry.
no, I'm blanking. The quarterback, Lamar.
Lamar.
Lamar, he had a step back last week, didn't have
Yeah,
a
has
great
step
game.
back. Yeah, but step back. But Josh Allen is still moving forward.
Oh yeah, Josh Allen.
Yeah,
So that's the only thing I can see is the two things that would be against is the people saying, hey, the O line's great, but they're great, but he's doing a lot of that himself. And then two, who else is up for it? You know how the NFL is.
yeah. So yeah, no, I
Can you
do that.
imagine for a second though, if he wins the NFL MVP award with the Giants fan, they're gonna be jumping off buildings, man.
Man, they're already sick. They're already sick. When you see a dude playing with the passion that he's playing with, he's not a touchdown dance guy. He just does this stuff at Penn State. He was giving the ball back to the fish with the Giants. So it's basically, like the new girlfriend is treating him better. Feed them, and now jealous. That's what it is. And guess what? You realize that he's just better for him.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, so I'm loving his personality, Sean. He talked about that in the media the other day. Is that his personality is starting to show because one, he's compensated, so he feels like he doesn't have to protect himself, and he loves the energy of the city, and also he loves how the players are with him. So he's living his best life. He's living his best life. He on state dinners. He was eating. He was eating. To go meals, Chinese food restaurants. Now he eating steak. He had double Frisco's right now. He had a double eagle right now.
I love that analogy.
Yeah. All right, Q. From a DB's viewpoint, why is AJ Brown so tough to tackle besides him being very strong?
I mean, is that he's a 6'1" running back playing receiver. I mean, damn near Derrick Henry out there. So, that being said, yeah, he's a big, strong, athletic, run after catch type of player. He's physical. And not just after he gets the ball, he's physical before. He's physical in his route running. You're not going to be able to just muscle him at the line unless you a corner that's about his size. And even then, he can still toss you. So, all that. And I think when he's on and when Jalen is getting the ball to him or like right on timing where he can turn up and run, that's when he's very, very dangerous. So, all that is tough to deal with. You got a big guy that can break tackles, and he's very good. And I think you told me this, that he's a baseball player. Maybe my son told me. I didn't know he played baseball.
Yeah, baseball. He's got drafted.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And that makes a lot of sense why he's able to judge those deep balls, because there's a lot of times on the deep balls, the receiver's right there and
the
lay hands, and he just drops it in. And that's not a normal thing for someone unless they practice it a whole lot or if they play baseball. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense why he's so good at it. So, he can kind of do it all. I mean, he's that man.
Yeah. I like his ability to run after the catch and field defenders is just special. Like he knows where people are. Like so when you're running across the field and you're about to catch the ball, your eyes have to go away from what you're looking at. Like, so I'm running down the field, I'm looking at the defense, and then I whip my head around. So basically, he's taking a snapshot of where people are and where they're possibly going beforehand. So when he turns his eyes back to the quarterback to locate the ball, he automatically like remembers, or I don't know what it is, feels where people are when his eyes are back toward the quarterback. So right when the ball is caught, he's already making the move like he knows where people are. His eyes are already back at the quarterback. He don't see him anymore, but he has that natural feel of where people are. His spatial awareness is just uncanny. He knows what moves to set up for next. Like he's making moves right when the ball is being caught. That's a special thing. Usually guys have to turn around and locate guys or get down, or he's like, oh, I'm running this fast and this guy's trying to catch me. I bet you I can cut back. Like right after, I bet you I can. If I stop, I'm gonna make him run past me. Like those types of things. That's talent.
Yeah,
talent. That's knowing what it takes to be a good run after the catch guy. Some people have it, some people don't. I definitely didn't have it like that. It was a work in progress, but he does it naturally, which is a great thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so next question.
Yep.
Excuse me. What do you think? All right, so what stood out lately about Kellen Moore's play calling?
All right, I gotta address something, and I'm gonna get to that question. I'm gonna address this too because I think it's very, very important. Jalen Hurts, this game, the best game Jalen Hurts played all year.
Really?
Best game Jalen Hurts played all year. Let me tell you why. Jalen Hurts 5 or 6 times before the defense was bearing down on him, got the ball out of his hands. Threw it away right away. He took that first sack, lost the yards. After that, no more sacks given up. He's like, I'm not doing that again. Got the ball out of his hands, threw it at the dirt when he needed to, was accurate most of the game. He missed one post. He was running left. He missed it. He missed one post that game. He missed a post backside. I can't remember who was to, but he ended up running left and picking up a first down run and with his legs. But when it came to his accuracy, when it came to his decision making, him protecting the ball wasn't in harm's way at all. I thought it was his best game. I thought he was accurate and on time for most of the game toward A.J. Brown. So with that being said, his decision making was good the entire game. And that's why I say that. His yards and stuff like that, maybe it doesn't. He only threw for 1 touchdown. He only had 179 yards. He completed 15 of his 22 passes. But probably of that 7 misses, 5 or 6 of them were throwaways, complete throwaways. Just they got me. That's it. That's what we want to see from Jalen Hurts. That's a smart quarterback. That's playing the game within the system. And then when it comes to just his ability to be involved in the run again, that's special. We're getting favorable boxes again. We're getting 2022 boxes because Saquon is a beast. A.J. Brown's a beast. I have to pick who I want to beat me. So I'm going to leave Jalen Hurts free now. And now Jalen Hurts is starting to have more success running the ball. And we're seeing quarterback design runs, and we're seeing him check 2 quarterback design runs. So from those standpoints, he picked up 3 first downs with his legs. They went 9 for 15 on 3rd down. It looked like at any time the Birds can pick up a 3rd down that entire game. So when he was throwing the ball away, he's like, I'll pick it up on 3rd down. 9 for 15 on 3rd down is really, really good. So from my perspective, Jalen Hurts' decision-making in that game was impeccable.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So that's me. And now, so play calling for Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore did what we are supposed to do. Keep it simple, stupid. Run the ball. I was worried the first 3-4 plays. First 4 plays, it was like 3 passes. I was like, oh, here we go. And he's like, nope. Let's run it. And yeah, so that's what I like to see. Get the ball to A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown was in that game in multiple spots. Literally every spot on the field from tight end except for the backfield. Every position on the field, A.J. Brown touched. Outside left, inside left, outside right, inside right, number 3 on left and right. So he was in multiple situations. He was clearly the main target for Jalen Hurts, and couple screens, a screen on third down, like runs that go to the house. Like there's multiple plays where there was just really, really good play calling. So I thought he did a good job in sticking to the run. And I thought that was the most impressive part. What about you?
I agree with you. I thought the same thing earlier. I'm like, oh, here we go. But yeah, I mean, I like his play calling. I think, you know, I thought. Leave it at that. Oh, I'll leave it at that.
You thought, go ahead, say it.
No. Just because I like the play calling. I just it at times it seemed a little boring to me. But you're right. You're right because we won. Like the offense was moving the ball. They're winning on third down.
Moving it. What do you want them to do? You want it to be the greatest show on turf?
A little bit.
No, you can't have both. You can't have 255 and 300 passing. Gosh, they would have to play perfect. Phew, tough crowd.
I mean, I want to see some triple reverse flea flickers, man. Annexation of Puerto Rico. Come on, man.
Oh, here we go. We had that. We had the annexation of Puerto Rico last week against the Commanders, and it went terribly wrong. Lulu tore it up.
Point. That's actually a good point. So forget everything I just said. You're right. I'll leave the offense to you. I will say this though. One thing that really, really, really is ticking me off. Why do we keep throwing the ball to Johnny Wilson? Why?
Because he's a big guy.
He can't catch.
I'm not. He stop. The ball was outside. He didn't get two hands on the ball. So can he locate it better and be in a better position? Yeah, I think Jalen has to realize, like, even though that ball was still at shoulder level, the dude is 6'6". That ball should be up there. It should be away from the defender. If you're gonna miss him, miss high. Don't miss low toward the defender. You know what I mean? He has all that space up here. He has air rights like over your house. He has all of that property upstairs. Man, go up, put it up there. You know what I mean? So that's what I like. A lot of times I think that he's playing small because they're throwing the ball small, especially in the red zone. If you're going to put him in the red zone, give him a shot and put it up high. Don't throw him a back shoulder fade where he can't get to it. No, put it on top. Put it 3 feet above the defender's helmet.
That's fair.
You know, put it up there. Get up there. 4 or 5 feet up there. Man, get up there.
He'd be pissed.
So, yeah, has he been struggling catching it? Yeah, he has been. But last night wasn't bad. Let me see. Let me see. All right, Q. Where are you with the Eagles passing game? Good enough as it is to win the Super Bowl, or still a question mark in big games? When someone stops the run, do you think we have enough?
Absolutely. Well, I think when everyone's healthy, yes. Devontae was hurt last week. So if everyone's healthy, you got Devontae, you got Goddard, you got AJ. Okay. You got Saquon in the passing game. So I think if a team does load up the box and tries to stop the run, if they had to get into a passing game, absolutely. This team is very dangerous. Now, the thing is that we got to make sure is, like, don't get too, and we'll see this week coming up because they got the Ravens coming up, but we'll see what's going to happen when the team does shut the run down and they have a pretty good secondary. Now we'll see. This is going to be a good Marlon Humphrey?
Nah, they like last in the league in explosive. They're like terrible at explosives. Like they give up all the big plays. Marlon Humphrey can't run. He's good at intercepting, but that dude cannot run. And he can't run, but he's a playmaker. You know what I mean? Okay. He's a playmaker. And it seems like, why is it always like that the playmakers on defense can't run? It's always like
because
that.
Because they be cheating. They know if you ain't fast, you got to be good.
Yeah. So they have players on defense. They got players in defense, and they can stop the run. But their pass game sucks. Their pass defense sucks. It's like
Okay.
the worst team in the league. Sucks.
Dang.
So we'll see. But
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But
Right now, it's that 24 points allowed a game, worse than the NFL, averaging 284 yards, passing yards given up a game.
it's not the Ravens. It's not the Ravens of old. It's not like we're used to like it being a dominant defense. No, the reason that the Ravens are struggling has nothing to do with Lamar Jackson. It has to do with them giving up explosive plays every week.
Dang, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll see. We'll see next week.
Yeah.
They load the box up.
They're going to load the box, and here's the strategy to beat the Eagles. The strategy to beat the Eagles is load the box up and don't get beat deep.
Yeah.
That's the strategy. Like you got to be willing to tackle. Because you got to be a tackle slants and stuff. You know what I mean? That's not an easy task to tackle slants. But if you load the box up or send more, add an extra guy to the box, try your best to do that. And that's no guarantee that you're going to stop the run. That's no guarantee. We saw it last week against the Rams. They were loading the box up and still getting gashed. So it's no guarantee. But if they can somehow figure out a way to stop the run and not give up explosive play, that's why the Commanders were able to stay around that game so long, is because they were able to slow the run game down at the beginning. And then all the shots we took downfield, they didn't work. So we stay in games. So the teams are able to stay in the games that way. Now, here's my thing about the passing game in the playoffs. It's going to be the coordinator, Todd Bowles, the Aaron Glenn's, coordinator Brian Flores, guys that can throw the kitchen sink at you and confuse you. That's what I'm worried about. It's not people stopping the run. It's Bowles, it's Flores, it's Glenn, guys like that can muck the game up and confuse you in coverage and send exotic blitzes. I think that is scary because of Jalen hasn't shown that he can consistently take care of that. He did in 2022 because he was like number one versus the blitz. But these last couple of years, things have been confusing for him. So that right there kind of scares me a little bit. And so I'll be happy to see the Ravens. I'll be happy to see the Steelers because the Steelers can play the game like that, you know?
Yeah. That's an excellent point, man.
Yeah.
That's an excellent point.
So, but you got them, and you got them right there. Like, and I don't know how the Bucks are doing, but say Bowles been a kryptonite for us.
Yeah.
Brian Flores been giving people the flux this year. The Vikings are 9-2. Just like we are, you know. So, and then you got Aaron Glenn, who has been calling great defense, right? So you got the top teams in the division have good defense coordinators, and I think that's the biggest hit to the passing game. Not the players, not who AJ Brown's lining up against, not that. It's the defense coordinator versus Jalen Hurts. That would be the only thing that can stop us. Is that.
That makes sense.
Yeah. What are the points that I want to make before we get off the show? I wanted to make a point about. We talked about John Dotson.
Oh,
I'm just trying to figure out. Like, I think like he has to work on his body. He gets pushed around a little bit too much. He's a small, like usually when you're not a huge dude, you got to put on weight. Like just think about, or you got to be extremely nimble where guys can't touch you. Like Chad, dudes can touch him.
Yeah.
But Chad is rock solid, strong too, though. Like he's a slender frame, but he's a core machine. Like you hit him, it's all solid.
Yeah.
So I think he needs to work on his body because he gets pushed around entirely too much.
Yeah, he does. He does, and I've always he was a first round pick, wasn't he?
Yeah, first round pick.
So I was always a little bit like kind of leery that the first round pick and the team doesn't even try to re-sign you, just basically let you walk. He I don't know, dude.
He has the ability to make you move. He has that. He can do that. It's just that it's hard to do when you don't have anything. Like, you need some strength to go with that. It can't just be, you can dance. You got to have some, either you cat like quick, where people just don't want to be there. But if you're not like super cat quick, but you can have, you got to have some strength to go with it, because even if you do a move, a dude put his hands out and you can't get off his hand, it don't matter. You got to have strength to be able to get off the jam. And yeah,
I'm surprised they don't move him more. Like, usually he's stationary and they usually have him outside, which is not always the best. You would think that he would be motioning a lot more, right?
Here's the thing. You motion the guy that has the best chance to get open, and you motion the guy that is going to make a play afterward. So if I'm going to motion anybody, I'm going to motion Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, because those guys I'm trying to get a matchup for. When you're a third wide receiver, you don't have the right to ask for motion, because, not saying that you don't, unless you're one of those. I have motion on third downs, right? Because I was the guy that can get open on third down. But on first and second down, my motion was geared to get somebody else open. And if I went on motion, it was to get somebody else open. So Jahan Dotson basically has to prove to the coaching staff that he's worthy of motion. Mm-hmm. And how do you do that? You get open by yourself.
Okay.
And that's the league. Like, and to be honest, when I play, I would rather play without motion, because I want to show to everybody that I don't need your help. I don't need your assistance. I'm gonna beat my dude up every time. Like, he know where I am. He can come right here, stand right in front of me. I'm gonna whoop his ass every time. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's the type of mentality that you should have. Like, that's the way it is. Everybody in the building knew what route I was gonna run. I was gonna run the basic. I was gonna run in. I was gonna run 10 and 12 yards up and in. Am I lying?
No. But you still got open every time.
I ran that route 75% of the time. I'm still get open on it every time.
I used to be telling DB, hey man, it's the in route. It's coming.
It's the in route. This is the DB still getting beat. It ain't look like it at the top. Yeah. He put that sauce on the top.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Man, it's a pleasure to always do these shows with you. The Eagles are 9-2. Got the Ravens. The Ravens are playing right now as we speak in the Hardball Bowl. I'm gonna go and watch that. Q, have a good night. But before I do that, Jeff, Josh, everyone at Inside the Birds, thank you to all the fans. We appreciate all that you do for us. Continue to tune in and send your questions to insidethebirds@gmail.com. And Q, you got the last word.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's been a pleasure. As always, man. Good seeing you. We'll see you again next week, folks. Thanks.
Peace.
Peace.